So I'm hand holding my tablet camera to show you this crack that's along the bottom edge of the tone pot on the TE70 Deluxe. Looks like this could have been struck on the tone pot and caused a slight depression in the poly. That's the only thing I can see. Inside the cavity behind it, the wood is not broken. But just all around, see if I can get this in there. Where's it at? There. Just here, all around the knob, you can see the circle. And I think what happened was that the knob got also pressed into the surface around the opening, because it was very, very low there. So, since I didn't video this, it obviously didn't happen, but I taped around it, which I've now removed since I didn't want it being stuck to the face of the guitar with crazy glue or CA glue. I scraped it along the top with a razor blade to get surface bits off of it. Then I cleaned it with the Meguiar's Scratch Doctor 2.0, and then I put a little bit of CA glue in there to try to fill it in to stop that poly from lifting anymore. And so this is the part where I'm at. It's drying. I'm not hitting it with accelerator. This stuff will turn milky white if you try to accelerate it. So I'm just going to let it dry naturally. And then down here at the pickup, I found that, yeah, that side of the pickup is rubbing against that sidewall, and it is causing the pickup, oh, and they screwed the screw in at an angle, which is causing the pickup to try to go up and down at a diagonal, whereas the other side has plenty of space. And here's the big shocker. I took off the pick guard and I found this huge cavity underneath the pick guard on the front of the guitar. So I don't know if that was weight reduction or not, but it was a surprise. I have not had or seen one like this before. Now the back side, I'm going to try to spin it around here. The back side, without getting the front of it touched up, it's got shielding paint in there and plenty of room to put in a volume pot. These pickups are 2-wire humbuckers. Therefore, there will be no push-pull pots on this, but I can get a second pot in to separate the volumes. The tone capacitor is a 22. And as I recall, it didn't work until you got really low to the bottom. So I'm going to take a look at the taper on that pot and see if I need to also change it while I'm doing the work. As you can see, there's not a lot of wire in this cavity, and it's massive. Absolutely massive. Which is good because it gives you lots of room to work. Oops. So all I need to do now is wait for this CA glue to set up, and then come back and try to scrape on it again to level it out. Maybe add another application or so, I'm not sure. I've seen guys use the thin glue, which I've put in there now, to try to get it to seep into the crack. And then they put a gel version on top of that to level it a bit more, which, if this works, I might do. If it stops it from spreading, I'll be okay with it that way. Well, the CA has set up, and we're going to make sure that that thing doesn't make any noise. And then this little trick with the Scotch tape. See? Stumac does it. Some other people did it. Some people did it with, masking tape. It's a little bit thicker. So if you've got a thicker buildup, you start with that one, then work your way down. Well, I've got some areas where it bled underneath my tape. I'm just trying to see if this scraping bit will confine itself and remove that section without doing a lot of damage. It's making noise. Some white is coming off, and since this is white, it's hard to tell what kind of white it is. And so far, this new razor blade has not worked its way through the tape, which was one of my worries. And they say don't necessarily just use it straight across, but also angle your blade just a tiny little bit to drag it across, kind of like a snow plow, for those of us who know what snow is. I can tell you it doesn't look great at this point. If I can show it to you with some light there. It doesn't look that great with some light. But it's sealed, I think. It's filled in the actual crack itself. And there were also recommendations to do some sanding. So I've taped it up again. And Stumac guy says use a block. I've got a little square dowel. He says so that there's no round edges. So I'm making it as square as possible. And we're just going to use the tape first as the height adjuster. And just go across that. And the edge of the crack is definitely sealed. Now, the question is do I want to go further and try to level up this side or not? I think I'm just going to try to go with what it is, and I'm just doing some 3500 a little bit wet on the edge of this tape, which is eroding with the water, of course. I thought I would try to smooth it as much as I could before trying the buffing compound. Alright, so now what I've got to do is to get that little bit of flatness out of it, hopefully with some compound. And this is also a Pro Strength formula for all clear coats, remove scratches and blemishes. Well, we certainly have a blemish now, and some glue. So before we go after the other stuff. Let's see if we can get the glue off with some lighter fluid, otherwise known as naphtha, around the area. So we don't have to worry about that. It worked. I've got to go get my buffing pad.